Hello, everybody. Thank you for downloading this special crossover edition of We Got This with Mark and Hal, featuring the ladies of Can I Pet Your Dog? Have you listened to Can I Pet Your Dog? You haven't? Well, you better go subscribe to that show. It's just nothing but charming all the time. And if you love dogs and you're not listening to it, maybe you don't love dogs. Time to put your ears where your mouth is and listen to Can I Pet Your Dog? Also, do you love Mark Gagliardi? I know I do. He is in Discord at the Herberger Theater in Phoenix, Arizona. Tickets are still available. Go to arizonatheater.org to find out all about that. Hey, do you like Allegra Ringo from Can I Pet Your Dog? Do you like me, Hal Lublin? Do you like to see both of us together on a stage at the Nerd Melt showroom? You can do that on June 3rd. It is the second ever edition of Headcanon, the show that I co-host with my friend Joseph Scrimshaw. To find out more about that, go to hallublin.com. And now, without any further ado, the special crossover episode of We Got This with Mark and Hal and Can I Pet Your Dog? Listen now.
Hello, I'm Hal Lublin.
And I'm Mark Gagliardi.
Since the dawn of humanity, one issue has gone unsettled. With the fate of the world in the balance, we're here to settle, once and for all. Big dogs or small dogs?
That's right. Don't worry, everyone. We got this.
Podcasts should have a theme song. Podcasts should not have a theme song. Yes, they should. No, they shouldn't. They sound good. Yeah, but people are just going to skip past it. You know what? You're right. We got this.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, listeners. Thank you for listening to our show or just starting listening for the first time. Thank you for continuing to listen. And thank you to our guests. Oh, we have a crossover today. Are you excited, Hal?
I am excited because this is I call them, which I just was thinking of this morning as I was driving to work, our conjoined twin podcast, because we launched on the Maximum Fun Network the exact same day.
That's right.
Our guests, of course, are Renee Colvert and Allegra Ringo from Can I Pet Your Dog? Hello, ladies.
Hi. Thanks for having us.
Hal, are you more of an Allegra or more of a Renee?
You know, of the two of us, I'm trapped in a room with both of them, so I'm not going to answer that. Before we started recording, there's a lot of talk about eyes and pants. You've got a weird headband on your head because we're on Skype. I can't answer. I recuse myself. I take the 5th, 6th, and 7th.
Wow, that is a lot of amendments you're using right now.
Yes. The reason why we wanted to enlist your help specifically, ladies, is because Eric Klein on our Facebook wall asked us whether big dogs or small dogs are better. And I know that this is something that the two of you have discussed and been asked about for a very long time. So we figured this would be a safe space for the two of you to come on and help settle it with us once and for all.
That's really wise. It's very smart. I think we couldn't be more invested in this topic. This is Renee. I am team big dog. Allegra is team small dog.
That's right.
I am so vehemently team big dog that I feel this doesn't end well. I'm either inconsolable or I'm bragging so hard I'm insufferable. Like this doesn't end well. And our friendship is broken up. The this will probably end.
Yeah.
This is it. This is our signature see you later podcast.
Oh, you guys.
I don't think we're speaking.
We don't want to be the ones that broke up Can I Pet Your Dog?
Well, you should have thought about that before you had us on.
Mark, hold on.
Okay.
Are we sure that isn't what we want? Because if we can get all of the other hosts on and break them up, we will be the kings of Maximum Fun.
But Hal, these are our twins. We can't do it to our twin.
You know what? Things happen in a womb all the time. Okay? But we're all out in the world right now. So everyone's going to live. We're all going to be happy. All podcasts will continue by mandate of the king, Jesse Thorne.
Yeah.
So, okay, we have a very strong big dog, very strong small dog. Mark?
Yes.
Do you have a thought going into this one way or another? Do you want to hold back on that? What's your experience with large and small dogs?
I have experience with both, and I love both, and I enjoy both, and I am Justice Kennedy on this one. I am the swing vote in the middle of this court. I've lived with a Chesapeake Bay Retriever. And I've spent a lot of time with, pugs and chihuahuas. So that's kind of the gamut. And both have their positives and their negatives. I will come at this more from, because I don't currently own a dog. I have in the past. I am, like Renee. Do you have a dog now, Renee?
I don't. No.
You still
all of
don't
this
have
is
a
just
dog.
based in a feeling.
Yeah,
should be just
I'm with
calm
you.
down.
I'm I want a dog. I do not have one. But I can see it going either direction. There's science to back it up. So we'll see.
Ooh.
We
I
did
like
not bring that science with us.
Yeah.
At least I didn't.
I was going to say I plan to be completely unreasonable this entire podcast. Behind just my gut is how I'm going to fight for this.
That's the hallmark of a dog owner. You have to be unreasonable to a certain point. I think it's a good trait to have. Similar to Mark, I've been with the range of dogs. I've had small dogs. The dog that we had when I was very young for the first 15 years of my life was a mutt. Mostly border collie, so on the smaller side, and then a Dalmatian, so we're getting into heavier area, then a golden retriever and a black lab. So gigantic dogs. So I've been all over the dog gamut.
Interesting.
And I do love both. But we should sort of establish what constitutes a large dog versus a small dog. Mark, you've done some research.
I've done a little bit of research. 44 pounds was the cutoff point that I've read online in a couple of different studies.
Look at that.
Interesting. Okay. I think that's
usually base it off of, in a crisis, could I ride him? And yes, that's my type of dog. In a crisis, like he's really going to have to pick it up a notch.
Look, it's depending on the crisis. I could ride a pug from here to Montana if I need to, if he goes fast enough.
Good. We'll just we'll see where this goes.
Montana is just, by the way, where I'm going to go. Apparently, that's the first place my brain. You said crisis, my brain went Montana. Why? I don't know. Probably Vegas would be better. You're right by the Hoover Dam. You'll have power.
Sure.
Yeah. And if you have a little dog, you can put it in your purse to go to the casino.
See, I think
idea.
The move could be to get a series of small dogs and then strap them to your feet like skates. And then like, not only do they take you wherever you need to go, but you look pretty cool. Like that is the man who rode the wave of dogs to freedom.
Yeah.
That's huge.
It's really cool.
Right?
That I can get behind. If a bunch of small dogs were to get together to make one big dog, I'm on board.
Oh, the legend of Johnny Dog Skates. So wait, Renee, does that mean that the winner of today's big dog or small dog is going to be two small dogs stacked on top of each other in a trench coat pretending to be a big dog?
That's fair.
You know what? I can allow that. I can allow that. That's fine. That's fine.
I think that's a great compromise.
It could just save our friendship.
I know. I like it.
I like that of the four of us, there is only one dog owner in our discussion about dogs.
Like, you're the only one.
I think that should make me the automatic winner. Don't you guys think? I'm the only one who's right here. I'm the only one who is coming to this with experience, with knowledge.
All right, tell us about your dog.
My dog is named Pistachio.
Pistachio.
She is a small dog. She's a small dog, and I know for a fact that Renee likes her.
I love her.
Yes.
What kind of small dog is she?
She's a Chihuahua something mix. I did do a DNA test on her that said she was a Chihuahua Yorkie. I don't believe it, and I need to contact them and demand a retest because she's too big to be a Chihuahua Yorkie. She's 18 pounds, and both those dogs are smaller. So she looks like a kind of a large, tall Chihuahua. And she has a little underbite. She's kind of brown and tan. She's very cute.
Yeah, she is adorable. I've seen her all over social media.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah, that'll happen.
Always a delight. I've seen her in bed. I've seen her out around on the couch, on the ground.
I thought there was a comma between I've seen her on social media, I've seen her in bed. Like, are you just going over to Allegra's place and like, I just want to lay here with a dog on my lap.
That's all I need.
Look, don't bother me. I'm just going to lay here on the couch.
Yeah. Look, what happens hanging out with Pistachio stays hanging out with Pistachio.
It's true.
Yeah.
Rules. Those are fair rules. Allegra also, I feel maybe left out the best part is that she howls when she's excited.
Oh, right.
What?
It's really cute.
Like a basset hound would.
Yeah.
And that's pretty great. It's
pretty
great.
cute. Yeah. It's very flattering. I think you'd agree with me, Renee. When if she's excited, when you come in and she sees you, she gives a little kind of a quiet howl. It's pretty cute. I haven't met, I don't know, any other dogs who howl just out of pure excitement. And she doesn't howl like at sirens or any of the sort of like usual dog howling stimulants.
Yeah.
She like, or stimuli. She howls just out of excitement.
No, she howls on stimulants.
Yeah,
it's stimuli she will not howl to.
Yes.
Cannot shut her up.
Yes. That's
I gave Pistachio some coffee this morning.
Ugh, what a nightmare.
Yep.
That's my nightmare. She does not need that.
Don't make me howl till I've had my coffee. Seriously.
She has a shirt that says that.
Well, this is a perfect launching off point then for one of the criteria I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
And this is one, Allegra, you're going to have to defend this one, I guess, because this is one that gives larger dogs the advantage over smaller dogs. Smaller dogs are, according to a couple of, I'm going to preface this with, I checked out a couple of studies on the internet. That is the extent of the science that I have done on this.
By a dog park.
Yeah, I walked by a dog park with like Little Rascals chain of sausages going out my pocket. And I saw who came up on me first.
Great.
No, but smaller dogs, their behavior is frequently more erratic, and they are less trainable than larger dogs. Have you found this to be the case?
I have not. I think, and there is some data to back this up, that training is in the not quite the eye of the beholder, but training is in the hand of the human. So it really does.
Did you just make that up?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Thank you. Hey, thanks, guys. I think I did. I hope I did. TM. So largely dogs, most dogs are trainable. They are more, age has something to do with it. You know, younger dogs, both large dogs and small dogs, are going to be usually more energetic, a little more, crazy. But really, a dog's behavior depends so much on how much training the owner did. So that's a much bigger factor than breed or than size. People complain sometimes about little dogs being like yappier or barking more, which I have found to be true. It does get annoying, but I understand it because little dogs, it's kind of all they have. They don't have,
Oh, man.
well, I mean, that's all they have in terms of like a defense mechanism. Like they don't have a lot to go on. They don't have size. Like their teeth are like, I guess, but like she's not biting anyone in defense. I don't think. So I understand that they're like, okay, I'm a little small thing. I'm kind of fearful. I'm going to bark and like sound the alarm. Like that's what I have. So yeah, I would argue that, training is in the hand of the owner.
When this comes back around and we're trying to decide ultimately, I'm going to be like, well, Allegra said it herself. It's all they have. Come on. It's all they got, you guys. Just barking.
Is that why you brought that stenographer? Just to get an official record.
Read it back.
Let me speak on behalf of small dogs then and say that it's not that. Let me back up Allegra rather. That it is the training is in the hand of the human. My dear mother, my dear departed mother. The English lab that we had, Cisco, who lived, I think, like almost, 12, 13 years.
Yes.
Sisqo, like the singer?
No, but we got him around the same time. and if you played that song, he would come running in the room. Like
wait, your dog Cisco loved the thong song?
Yeah, of course.
Well, who didn't?
No, they're intuitive.
That's hilarious.
Because your mom cared. She trained him.
She did.
Yeah.
But he was actually raised as a service dog because she had trouble bending over, picking stuff up. So that was his job. He hated wearing his cape. But he was well trained, except the only issue was he then came into possession of my mother, who spoiled him rotten.
Sure.
Yeah.
To the point where probably the best example of this is she went into a clothing store and brought him in with the cape on, which was always like if the cape came out, he would run and hide. Sure. Because he didn't want to work. He didn't become aggressive, just was like, man. Yeah. And she's looking around.
With great power comes great responsibility. Put on your cape.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So she's looking around the store. And she has him on a leash, but she hears like this noise of things being knocked around, and then turns to see that this service dog with a cape on has his head in the garbage, just looking for some food to eat.
Sure. Go.
Oh, I love Cisco.
Yeah, he was pretty awesome. But again, like highly trained, larger dog, spoiling owner.
Yeah. And I think it's so funny because like I'm sure he wasn't like that when he was in service dog school or what have you. But then the minute you give him an inch, they go, I see. Okay. They're pretty smart. They can figure out what they can get away with real fast.
Yeah, it's like anybody that's in training, kids included. When you were a kid, when you were in your obedience school and in your training, you got away with as much as you could.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Let me ask you guys a side note question. Hal, you mentioned the vest, the service dog vest. What percentage of the service dog vests that you see around town are baloney that was purchased off the internet so people can take their dogs in places?
Ooh.
Oh.
That's a great question. First, I think for a second we called it a cape. So for a second I wanted him to be like, Captain Trash. That's my name. Listen, I'm just trying to help.
I would read the comic book Captain Trash.
It's really
Who
good.
wouldn't? I wouldn't trust him.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't?
He would have that Heathcliff bone that looks like a fish, still fish shaped.
Yes. I can't speak for dogs, but I have a little digression of a story of a vest that was not certified. We used to go skating every Friday in Colorado, and there was a skater who had a vest that said blind skater. And we were in high school. We're all trying to just love him. I did set this up with wasn't certified, so I bet you guys can see where this is going. But that poor boy just kept running into us, hands first, right on the boobs. Just would catch a little. We were like, well, he's blind. It's fine.
Come on. Did he do the sunglasses?
Yeah. Well, and we were so nice to him for weeks until one night we saw him driving away. Buddy! No! But isn't that the best con of all cons?
Oh, that is such a good high school con.
Super
I'm
mad
mad at it. That is an elaborate con.
That's the long con.
Wow. If that kid is listening, I hope you are ashamed of yourself, sir.
Yeah.
I'm sure you
That is a complicated con.
Don't you smell like that was the last boob he touched. So.
Yeah.
Like that was 17 was the end of it, and then the
It
rest
better
of his
have
life
been.
went down.
It may not be. He may still be skating there.
Yeah. For a brief shining moment, he was the Daniel Ocean of boobs, and then blew it. Just like, I mean, that's like dumb criminal. Like, I'm gonna make him think I'm blind, but also it's 15 miles away from my house. I gotta drive.
I'm not going to park far. I don't want to walk.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
I know, I'll swerve a little bit, and then they'll think like, "Oh, he must be Daredevil."
I don't know the actual statistics about how many service vests or capes, as Hal likes to say, are faked on animals. I do know a lawyer who is trying to work to eliminate like the fake ones because they do kind of a bad thing in that it makes people not trust service vests, which is not great. I definitely think in LA I see a lot of dogs where I'm like, this doesn't seem like a service animal. And some do.
Mm-hmm.
And I also don't want to say definitively, like, I don't want to go around accusing dogs of being fake service animals.
And also, it's not a bad thing for a dog to be allowed in somewhere. It's like, it's like you get your pot license by telling him, sometimes I get insomnia. All right, here's a pot license.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's kind of like that here. And I don't care about like health code violations. I wish dogs were inside all restaurants and all kitchens and just everywhere.
In the soup.
In the soup. I don't care. I would love it.
Just a hairy soup brought to the table.
Was it made by a dog?
Waiter, there's a dog in my soup.
I asked for a whole brownie, not 7/8 of a brownie.
But yeah, I definitely have seen, I've seen a few service dogs where I'm like, I don't know, or a few alleged service dogs, wearing the vests, barking, running around. I don't know if that's service dog behavior. They're supposed to be very calm. So if they're not acting very calm and well controlled, that's the first sign.
Now, is the vest always the same, or does it vary like a fake ID? That it can vary. Like, have we seen the most like homespun, like used with a magic marker, service dog from?
Yeah, they're going to have to start putting holograms on them.
Sure, you're right.
Yeah. I know that there at least were sites. Somebody who I worked with had a little papillon that she took with her everywhere. Sophie, very sweet dog, and I don't know if it's a papillon thing in general, but this dog in particular, she always has her tongue sticking out of her mouth like sideways.
I love that.
Cute.
Which is, I mean, it's adorable.
So funny.
But like in order to, I guess, take her on planes or in hotels or whatever, like you pay $50, $75 and then you get a certificate and a cape. Because apparently in California, at least, if you say your dog is an emotional support dog or is something like that, the way I understand it is you cannot be asked what the dog is for. Because that violates your confidentiality or privacy, your right to privacy.
That is right. If you are inside like an establishment, they cannot ask you what it's for.
Yeah.
Really?
And also, to be fair, I would also like to say that there are emotional support dogs that do really important work.
Yeah.
And a lot of people like to point out that like not all disabilities are physical or are visible. So there definitely are I don't want to go accusing everybody of having a fake service.
Look, I'm not disparaging actual service dogs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sure.
I could make up a business card that says I'm a psychologist. That doesn't mean people should tell me their problems.
It's true. Exactly.
You were just trying to make it serious, and you should, and it is. But I also am curious, what's the most embarrassing true reason that you need a therapy dog?
Oh, God.
Do we have anything?
I don't know what they're
IBS. There's an IBS dog.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Or was it like I really liked Lost and it went off the air and I'm just having trouble? So I got this Yorkie poo to help me out. You're like, it's a service dog. Meanwhile, just openly drinking out of the old soup that you have, creating a bowl of hair soup. That's that's Mama's old recipe.
It's reasonable.
So, okay.
Go ahead,
do you believe, Mark, if you're saying that small dogs have a reputation of being less trainable, that large dogs are more trainable somehow? Because in my mind, smaller dogs are smarter. And here's why. I think that they're manipulative in a way that a larger dog can't be. A small dog has figured out, is like the Morgan Freeman of the Shawshank of life, where they figured out how to get everything because they're not the fastest and not the strongest, but they know how to, especially with an owner, I know a dog that if you made chicken would come in on its hind legs spinning.
Wow.
I would make chicken every day, all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah, yes.
That's exactly right. That's exactly why. The first time that the dog got chicken, that was what happened. And then it just continued from there.
That's amazing.
Learned very quickly. That's how I get chicken.
Wow.
I've trained that person.
It's amazing.
Incredible. What was that dog's name?
Hal Lublin.
Hal Lublin.
That
And I'm
little boy.
still getting chicken to this day because I am a good boy.
Good boy.
Good
Smart.
dog.
Quick.
Who's a
Yeah.
good boy? Who's a good boy?
I am. I'm a good boy. Big dogs to me have always seemed a little bit, I don't want to say that they're dumb, but they do seem, they're just sort of happy to be there.
Yeah.
Hey guys, what's going on? I'm just happy to be here. I got a big bump on my head and my eyebrows go up and down in intervals one at a time.
I like your big dog voice, by the way.
Excellent.
Thank you.
It's
Excellent.
I think it's on point.
I agree completely.
I wonder if that has to do with the reasons they were bred. If smaller dogs were bred for, I know this is, by the way, me talking blind. I don't know anything about this topic. But if a big dog is bred to just lay in the living room and watch the kids and then growl if one runs away too far, then that's all right, I'm just going to be, I don't have anything to prove. But that's the other thing too, is I think a big dog that doesn't have much to prove, a little dog is going to, like you said, that's the only thing they have is their bark. A big dog's I don't need all that stuff because, I could kill you if I want to. Yeah. It's the difference of a little dog is not going to fall in line as well as a big dog. But if a big dog goes rogue, it's terrifying.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think you are speaking intelligently about it. We do a little minute on our show where we do kind of the research of a specific breed. And what we continuously find is that the small dogs were used to chase vermin out. And the big dogs were used to haul things in. This is only going to make sense for one person, but I would, you know how on cruise ships, singers get paid more than dancers? And
No one knows that.
Nobody knows that. Nobody knows that. Why would they know that? But the dancers have to work a lot harder and maybe are happy to do such, but they get paid a lot less. So maybe you're dumber if you're a dancer. Where was this going, Renee?
And Renee, what did you do on a cruise ship?
Sure, I danced.
So wait, who's the dancer in this scenario?
So, the big dogs.
And
I see. They do more work, they do more stuff, they get paid less, they're appreciated less, but, I understand.
This is a real victim narrative to big dogs.
I know, but we have to win, Allegra. It's important.
I see what's happening. I'm being manipulated by big dogs. How is this happening?
Yeah.
I'm just a sucker for animals, I guess.
There's also something that people call small dog syndrome, which is, like you were saying, Mark, if a small dog misbehaves, it's not really that big a deal because they're small. They're not going to knock you over. Whereas a big dog, if they misbehave, it's well, this could knock people over. So small dog syndrome refers to small dogs who are badly trained because they can get away with bad behaviors that big dogs can't. for instance, jumping up is like a bad behavior. You can't let a big dog jump up. They'll bowl people over.
Yeah.
But small dogs, including my own, everyone goes, oh, it's cute. They love me, which I totally understand. But so small dogs get away with more because of that, because they're not as big of a threat. So I think that is right what you're saying, Mark.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, good.
Hey,
I feel like Hal and I are way out of our depth with two experts here today.
No, there are certain dogs that have jobs. Dalmatians work in firehouses.
Yes, it's so cute.
The Newfoundland apparently is a water rescue dog, which I learned from Can I Pet Your Dog?
Oh my gosh.
From 2 weeks ago.
Isn't that cool?
It's awesome. And I lived with a Newfie for a little while. I will tell you one drawback is that they get ear infections like a mofo.
Oh, no.
And the smell, because they're so big, can get real bad. And there's just like, you have to stay and clean it.
Sure.
Not with like a Q-tip, but with those things you use to push cannonballs in.
Sure. Yeah.
You just gotta put those in and swirl them around a little bit.
Sure. That's called the old Ken Burns swab.
The old Ken Burns swab. My dearest Newfoundland, it's been 2 weeks since I cleaned your ears. I do long for this smell to leave.
So much Morgan Freeman today.
I'll never forget the first time I saw my Newfoundland's ears. And St. Bernards are bartenders, right?
What?
They don't really,
What do you mean?
because they always have the barrel with the three X's on it.
Oh, yes, that's true.
Right.
Which is, I know they're first aid dogs, but really, that's just, they're just enablers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They're just
Great.
big enablers.
Huge enablers.
They're the best.
So then,
But I loved that movie, Beethoven's Second.
the first one, it was too fresh for you.
Yeah. No. I like my movies like I like my Peeps. A few days old with the plastic off on top of the fridge.
Ew.
So Mark, who do you think is a more trainable? Let's set this criteria aside.
Well,
and sort of settle it. What do you?
As far as I don't, that's the thing. I don't know about trainability. What I do know is we have to take the human equation out of this if we're just going big dogs or small dogs. We have to assume that both dogs have been trained well.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Sense.
We can't let that be we can't let the training be an X factor because, a well-trained big dog is going to be less scary than an untrained small dog. Makes sense?
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
So then,
So what other criteria do we need to look at?
I think we should talk about dogs in popular media.
Ooh. Good one.
Okay. That's
There are
great.
a lot of big dogs, a lot of small dogs
Sure.
that have been around. Clifford, of course, the biggest of
The
dogs.
biggest red dog.
Sure. So let's go from biggest to smallest. Is it Clifford, Marmaduke, Scooby-Doo?
Right. Great. These are very
what are the
good right
middle
off the
ones?
top.
Oh, Nana from Peter
All right,
Pan.
Peter Pan.
Nana.
Who was a Newfoundland?
It was a Newfoundland.
Very good.
Yeah.
I'm thrilled with these.
And we're going to get
Makes me
all the way
happy.
down to Ren.
Oh, wait, don't forget
Sure.
Dynamutt or Dinomutt,
Who's that
Ooh.
one?
who was another Hanna-Barbera dog. It basically looked like if somebody had frightened Scooby-Doo and turned him gray and then put like a green hat or mask on him.
I don't
He'd be
know that
Dynamutt.
one. How
You know what
cool.
that was? That was sending the same drawings to two different sections of the ink and paint department.
Yeah.
I was like, here, make this one brown, make this one gray. We'll make it two cartoons.
Great. It'll work. It'll work. Trust me.
Yeah.
We don't have a relative size on like Huckleberry Hound, Goofy, and Pluto.
Ooh.
They all
true.
seem like they could be. Pluto's probably on the smaller end of that spectrum.
Sure.
But the dogs
Pluto
on
looks
their hind
enormous,
legs.
but his owner is a mouse.
Yeah. And he weighs like 5 pounds. That dog has not been fed.
I
And,
know.
Yeah.
Like anytime he jumps in water, a bunch of fleas come. Like somebody should take him away from Mickey and Minnie.
Sad. You're right.
It's a horribly mistreated dog.
True.
Oh,
True.
he swallowed that accordion that time.
They don't care. How do you get shot by Mickey? Like a collar should not hang like that on a dog's neck.
No, that is true.
Accurate. Yeah. Sure. But maybe it was a gift from Minnie. He didn't
Yeah.
really
Oh,
want
yeah.
to take it back.
You know what though? Poke an extra hole in it.
He's planning on returning it later, guys. Just
Oh my God.
stay with it.
Then, I mean, Taco Bell Chihuahua, another
Sure.
smaller dog. Spuds McKenzie, also the small dog.
Smuds McKenzie, we just talked about a couple weeks
Sure.
ago. Yeah, Snoopy in there.
Snoopy,
Little
yeah.
Snoopy.
Fred Bassett, another popular, not popular.
Fred Bassett.
God.
Fred Bassett. How
Fred
do we
Bassett
know
is
these?
a British comic strip that has also appeared. It's basically like if you imagine the driest thing a British person could write,
Yes.
then dry it out some more and have a dog say it, and you have Fred Bassett.
Oh
He's
my
like,
God, I love it.
"This couch is comfortable," and that's
speaking-
the whole strip. Like,
Speaking of dry dogs, Brian from Family Guy.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
there
yeah.
we go.
Good one.
I'd like to point out how that you said, I don't even remember its name, but you're like, it's very popular, and then had to describe that dog to all three of us.
Fred Bassett.
Fred
Big
Bassett.
deal.
Right.
Pretty big deal.
So, but like if you think of a dog in popular culture though, like commercials and TV shows and movies, isn't it always like a golden retriever or a lab in a yard?
Yeah, usually. Yeah.
It's usually a big dog. Like the nondescript ones
Yeah.
are usually bigger dogs.
Yeah.
The
that's
smaller
true, for
ones
sure.
they give more attitude to. Would that make sense?
That's true.
Small dogs in media have attitude. Big dogs in media are dumb and get in the way. Like every Marmaduke is just, you're too big.
He thinks he's a small dog, but he's giant.
Oh, you made a huge mess. But they're also very athletic. You guys have seen Air Bud.
I was just gonna bring
don't
up
have
Air
to
Bud.
say it
Oh,
to
yeah.
you.
Golden
Of course.
Retriever. Like I said, I only watch sequels.
It's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
But let's see. What other small dogs? What was Fraser's dog? Do you remember that one?
Oh, Eddie, the little
Yeah.
Jack Russell.
Yeah.
Eddie,
Great
sure.
dog.
But also, you're right. Very feisty.
Mm-hmm.
Eddie, very
Yep.
feisty.
Ooh,
yeah.
very cute though, doing a lot of funny stuff all the time. A lot of
Yeah.
attitude.
My new favorite is, do you guys watch Difficult People on Hulu?
Sure.
No, but I like those guys. Oh, beautiful.
Oh, those are so
Oh,
cute.
yeah.
They're
it's
so
real nice.
cute.
Very floppy.
Can we talk about Sprocket for a second? Who is
Oh, right.
I went to the Center for Puppetry Arts in Atlanta recently,
Ooh.
and the Henson
Not
family. I hate to. I get around.
It's
First
okay.
of all, I was in Atlanta. Brag number one. Brag number two. Center for Puppetry Arts, where the Henson family has donated like 500 pieces. So
That's so cool.
there are a bunch out on display, but one of them is an actual Sprocket.
Yes.
Who like?
Oh, wow.
I loved Sprocket as a kid. I had a stuffed Sprocket,
Aw.
and when I saw Sprocket in the case, I almost broke into tears.
How could you
Just
not?
like because he's looking at me like,
Yeah, like Sprocket does.
yeah, lift up this glass and take me home.
Did you do
That's-
it?
It's right here.
What's the statute of limitations on stealing a puppet from Atlanta?
Well, Sprocket has an interesting thing because, you know, if the assumption is big dogs are big, dumb, and loyal and little dogs are the smarter ones, Sprocket was the smarter of the two in the room. He's the one that saw the Fraggles and knew they were down there.
True.
Very smart.
But he was assumed to just be, oh, Sprocket. You know, he's just barking at nothing. He was assumed to be the big, dumb dog.
It's a good
So-
Same happened with Nana and Peter Pan.
Oh,
Yeah.
good point.
Yeah.
Nana's a really good one. A
Yeah.
really good pop culture dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to say though, when I think of pop culture dogs, it starts and stops with Snoopy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Who's a small dog.
True.
All right.
So I think
Big ol'.
pop culture would go to small dogs, but realizing, especially if you need to sell like Symbicort or some other medicine where I don't know what it does, that old person's going to be chasing a golden retriever around the yard and not a schnauzer.
Some Abilify is going to be,
Yeah.
there's going to be a frisbee thrown in an Abilify commercial.
Yeah.
Easily. Okay. All right.
Yeah, that is true. And I
All right.
think that
No, please.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, I don't know. We, I discussed it a while back on Can I Pet Your Dog, but, I do think, I do think golden retrievers, I don't know right now, but they've definitely been top contenders for most popular dogs in America.
Mhm.
And I don't know if that's a symptom or a cause of them being in pop culture. Like, I don't know which came first.
Right.
Interesting.
It's
Yeah.
interesting.
Good question. I believe it was Comet from Full House who did that to us.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Oh,
You think?
Comet.
And don't
Well
forget,
remembered the name of the very nondescript dog.
Very true,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
What about Brandon from Punky Brewster?
Yes,
Also a golden
Brandon.
retriever.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Yeah, that was what we named our golden retriever because I loved Punky Brewster and we got the dog in like 85.
That's
Oh.
a great reason to name him that.
Yeah.
There was also a dog in Empty Nest, but I can't remember if that was a golden retriever. or
No, it
not.
was Dreyfus. He was a St. Bernard.
Ooh,
Oh,
good memory.
wow.
For knowing that.
Yeah.
Good memory.
Big dog. Thank
I
you.
loved that
Thank
show.
you.
Good memory.
Nice
Thank you.
work.
I try.
All right.
Team.
So it looks like the criteria we have spoken about so far, dogs in pop culture, little dogs get the victory. That's kind of the only one we've settled. We talked a little about
Let's say for trainability that probably it's larger dogs and part of that is because they are able to serve larger functions, whether it's rescue or water rescue or
Yeah.
air rescue or
fire rescue, wind rescue. You guys, we just made a Rescue Captain Planet.
Yes.
So before we get into into our last batch of criteria, or our second batch of criteria, and make a decision. Why don't we take a quick break and we'll listen to some ads from some of the other fine shows on the Maximum Fun Network. Does that sound good to everybody?
That sounds great.
I'm Allegra Ringo, a dog owner.
And I'm Renee Colvert, a dog wanter, and we host a show called Can I Pet Your Dog? The podcast for unapologetic dog lovers.
You can find us every Tuesday on MaximumFun.org or on iTunes.
So, now what is this? Is it just a podcast where all we do is talk about dogs? Sort of. We definitely have a segment called Dogs We Met This Week, where we tell you about, dogs we met this week.
We also have a segment called Dog Heroes, as well as cool dog tech and stupid dog tech.
We also have some of your favorite celebrities. Lin-Manuel Miranda, who did Hamilton, has been a guest. We've got Leslie Margarita.
We've had Nicole Byer, Ann Wheaton, all the best dog-related celebrities. So check us out every Tuesday on MaximumFun.org or on iTunes.
Can I pet your dog?
Can I pet your dog?
Renee and Allegra.
CIPYD. Yeah!
You guys, I'm so excited to introduce to you my new baby, Getting Curious with Jonathan Van Ness. This is going to be a really fun look at things that I find curious, whether it's a menstrual cup, it might be the Romanoff family, it might be fracking, it could be Carly Fiorina. I don't even know. Who knows? It's going to be whatever I think is interesting. I can't wait to bring it to you guys. We're going to be bringing in content experts. I'm going to be learning the things. It's only going to take about 30 minutes for you to expand your baby brains with me and have a super fun time. So I can't wait to see you on our first episode of Getting Curious.
And we're back. Boy, that Can I Pet Your Dog sounds great.
Yeah, it was great. We ran a promo for their show in the show.
Ooh,
so you get to hear them twice.
Crazy.
Tthanks, guys.
Very nice.
Oh, of course. We're fans. So let's go to another criteria I wanted to talk about. That this one, it's clearly going to go to the little dog, but it's got to be talked about is societal acceptability and portability.
Oh, portability.
Oh,
yeah.
boy.
Wow.
Oh, boy. Also, Mark, can I see you for a moment? Just you and me? Real quick? So right now it's 1-to-1, and you've decided that the last thing is definitely going to small.
Oh, no. I didn't say this was going to be the last one.
Okay, thank God.
okay.
All right,
No.
okay.
This is just the next one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
Hey,
right,
what were you
I'm
guys
okay.
talking about? I was over here in
What
the
was
corner.
that? Oh, sorry. Sorry, just real quick. I just had to talk to Mark real quick.
Oh, no
Sorry about
problem.
that.
No
Okay.
problem.
We're back. What were you guys talking about?
Yeah, guys, did we miss anything here?
Pants. We were talking about pants.
Mostly pants.
Yeah. It's
That's
pants
Different
season.
kinds of pants, different colors of pants,
Lengths of pants.
lengths of pants,
Materials.
materials.
Yeah.
My new show, Can I Pet Your Pants?
Put your pants.
Can I wear your pants? Pretty cool. Me and Hal have a spinoff show. Can I wear your pants? It's really cool. Really
Segment
good,
goes.
interesting show. Okay, let's see. I'll feel this one.
Okay,
For a
you
minute.
field it, and then I will argue.
Okay, sounds great. Well, portability is in the bag, so to speak. I think Mark said, I think that's, it would be unfair. It would be unfair to take a point off from Big Dog for not being portable.
That's a good point.
Small dogs definitely here in Los Angeles. I think in terms of having like an apartment dog, small dogs do make it easier. You can, I guess, carry them around in your purse if you're so inclined. I do think I think small dogs have sometimes gotten an unfair reputation for being a purse dog. With like, I think in like especially the late 90s, early 2000s, there was like Paris Hilton had a small dog in a purse. And I feel like that was kind of in vogue, but now people kind of go like, oh, that's like a little purse dog. I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where I was going with this, but, that's my thoughts.
Well, that's the thing too, is being picked up a lot and put in a bag and carried around. That, leads to behavior problems. As I have read again in these things is in these two studies that I'm suddenly an expert on this. That carrying dogs around and not letting them be on their four legs exploring the world, and when you just getting manhandled by humans a lot. But again, that goes back to the training.
The thing that's really difficult, I think, about dogs is like you can't divorce them from humans who they have co-evolved with and who have been training them forever.
Right.
So
Right.
it's actually really kind of a hard question.
Sure. Well, and yet it's not. I think. Do small dogs win for a quantity of ways that they can be carried around? Sure. Easily. Hands down.
There's only one way to carry a big dog.
But there's only one way.
Fireman
How
style.
about you join me if you will. You see a huge dog in a wagon.
Oh my
You
god.
see him in the back of a pickup. You see him
Yeah.
hanging out the back of a window. That dog's going to win quality every time.
Quality.
That big dog.
Yeah.
That is, you did just describe every country music video.
Sure.
Yeah, just the end. You just see the dust trail as a larger dog looks over the gate.
But if you're talking like you're on a Friday night with your friends and there's a small dog in a car next to you, that may not stop the conversation. There's a huge dog hanging out the window. We're all going to stop and take a picture of that dog.
Fair.
You feel? Maybe? I'm fighting so hard. I'm trying so hard.
Well, there is a thing like here's a problem with porting small dogs around, especially if it's not safe to have your dog sit on your lap and lick your face and put his or her paws up on the wheel while you're driving.
Sure.
It's not
Unless
like
they are more sober than you are.
yes.
If they're your DD,
And your tiny dog, your designated
Oh my God.
dog.
Mark, please tell me you've gotten out of a DUI this way. Please.
It's cool, officer. The dog was driving.
He's got it. It's fine.
book him.
I do remember one time as a kid, we were at a stoplight and I turned and quickly looked at the driver of the car next to us, like you do.
Mhm.
And I swore for a second it was a dog. And then I turned and looked back and it was just a person with unfortunate facial features.
Oh,
But
jeez.
to this day, I can't be sure that person's not a weredog.
Ooh.
Cannot be sure.
Great mystery.
Yeah. Yeah,
I like
it's a huge. Listen, if you were in Northeast Philly and you were on Castor Avenue in 1984, reveal yourself.
It's possible.
You've lived in the darkness for too long.
Shaggy dog
They're not
situation
gonna come out
here.
now, though.
Yeah, that's true. They've been so successful for so long.
Yeah. Ooh, I'm very intrigued by this person.
If you see a person driving around Northeast Philadelphia with their head out the window, I think that's your person.
And a ball in their mouth.
And a ball in their mouth.
Just trying to lick the peanut butter out of a Kong at an intersection.
A torn service cape on their shoulders.
Oh my God, I love it.
It's okay. That service cape was baloney anyway.
That's right.
Homegrown.
So are you saying, Mark, that you believe for portability that a larger dog is winning because
No, that a smaller dog wins.
you believe
But,
a smaller dog wins because it's more portable?
Well, yeah, and living in New York, there are apartment leases where you can have a dog, but only up to this size. Small dogs you can carry into a store with you. You can just, I've seen signs that say, your dog is welcome as long as you can pick him up.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. That, in little boutiques and things. I mean, this is in Park Slope, so there's a lot of purse dogs. No offense to the small dogs.
I mean, it sounds like a class action lawsuit to me. It's fine.
I would go into that restaurant. I would work out for like 5 years and go in with a pit bull and just pick it up, put it on my shoulder. I want a chili.
That would be so worth it.
I would give anything for. I want it bigger than a pit bull. I want like a Newfoundland or a Saint Bernard around like a
Oh my God.
scarf.
I can carry this dog.
Yeah.
Well, Hal, you're a germaphobe, though. You wouldn't go into a restaurant that allowed dogs anyway, would you?
No, I'm fine with it.
Oh, really?
No, dogs' mouths are clean because they are constantly, there's something in their saliva which is like constantly cycling, which is why they technically they could go eat their own crap and then come lick you in a little bit and it's fine. They're not leaving a streak or anything on your
Great.
face.
So they can eat their own crap, which means you're allowed to take a dog into Guy Fieri's Great American in the middle of Times Square.
That would be an improvement of that restaurant. I would not do that to any dog. To bring them
And
into
keeping
that
the
hellhole.
flame war between Hal and Guy Fieri, who doesn't know he's in a flame war with Hal, going.
Doesn't matter if he knows he's in it. I still will win.
He probably knows.
Yeah, he will.
Yeah.
On
he
some
knows.
level, he knows.
He knows. He's trying to win you over. Give him time. He's thinking of a good way to do it.
I ain't scared of no Guy Fieri. All right. So small dogs, you're saying they win on portability.
Small dogs have to win on portability.
Small
Renee,
dogs
I'm sorry.
win.
Yeah, no, you should be. We're not okay right now.
Small dogs have won on popular culture. Large dogs have won on training and general intelligence. Putting into their functionality. How's that?
Can I add something to large dogs?
Sure.
A criteria that will, I don't want to add something to a large dog. They're just fine as God made them.
Hat and glasses.
Hat and glasses. Except hat and
A
glasses.
pipe.
Yeah.
I feel like, and this is going to sound crazy, large dogs to me win on general dogness.
I understand that.
You know what I mean? Like you can just grab their head and shake them and, you know, like they're going to like climb up on you on the floor and lick your head. And you know what I mean? Like that's the image I have of a dog is like bowling you over when you come home from a vacation. That's like general dogness to me. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it absolutely does. It wasn't an apology, but it makes sense.
I think that goes along with what you were saying, Mark, about them being like the standard American dog in pop culture. It's the same kind of thing. It's like, oh, that's just like that's a regular dog. You think of a big dog. What does a dog look like? It's like a golden retriever or something, kind of like a nondescript big dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
I toss this out a lot, usually met with a, what? No. But have you ever put sunglasses on the back of a large dog's tail?
Oh,
and so it looks like a snuffleupagus?
What?
Yeah.
I never even thought of that.
Yeah, it's real great. Real great. Works better on big dogs and small dogs.
Oh
if
my
we
God.
wanted to throw that into the mix of choosing, we don't have
great
to.
criteria.
As criteria go,
Big dogs. Right.
like if you've got to think of 5 criteria, whether or not you can make them look like a backwards snuffleupagus.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's a very valid thing that we should put into the mix.
Which dog breed would be the best for that?
You know,
Would it be the Siberian Husky?
Ooh, yes. Now
They have a good loaded tail.
Can I just say it would look like that snuffleupagus was having an epileptic seizure?
Sure.
Just like got a smell and just now everywhere their nose is going crazy. If you saw snuffleupagus do that on Sesame Street, you would get a spoon and try to put it in his mouth immediately. You need like one of those giant like serving spoons that's like on the wall of a TGI Friday, but
Sure.
you still like that would be unsettling, and it's all I want to see now.
Yeah.
If you have a video of that, if you could find a video of that on YouTube, will you please share it with all 4 of us?
Please.
So that we can see it?
Please. Just snuffies in general.
Yeah, Snuffy, hashtag Snuffy your dog.
Oh.
Take a video.
Oh, I hope
post
that
it,
takes
let
off.
us know.
Pretty cute.
Great.
Okay, so now it's 2-2. We've got general dogness and intelligence / function goes to big dogs.
Okay.
We've got portability and pop culture going to small dogs. What is our tiebreaker, Mark?
Oof. I don't know because I can't think of a criteria that doesn't immediately favor one dog over another.
Well, then let's ask the ladies.
Interesting.
What do you think is a criteria that seems like it could be even ground where you both are comfortable debating? 'Cause I think that's what it's going to come down to here is the two of you sort of
Sure.
Duke it out.
case to one another. We're all going to decide together. This is a group decision.
Here, this is a guaranteed I'm going to lose, but we could do longevity, which I don't care for, but
interesting.
it's something to be.
You don't care for longevity?
Yeah,
You're like, no, I only
gotta
dig
have
puppies.
quality.
Longevity's it's kind of a sad, it's kind of like a bummer topic though.
Sure.
It is.
Yeah.
It is a bummer.
But you're right. That's fair though.
Doing the manipulation thing where I give you one and then you give me one and then I give you the one that wins.
Well, and that's a breed thing too, because there are smaller breeds. Some smaller breeds have medical issues that will cause them to live shorter lives, and there are some larger dogs that live very long lives because of how they're taken care of. So it falls to the humans again.
It's true. That's the thing.
Sure.
What about?
I've buried them all, girls. It doesn't get any worse, whether it's big or small.
Yeah.
This
I
is,
hear that.
I want to throw out a criteria that we use a lot of times on this show that, again, Renee's going to kill me for these.
I am. Mark, well then think of what you're going to say before you say
But it feels like an important one. Since we are talking about, well, let me ask you this first.
I'm listening.
Are we just determining, are small dogs or large dogs better, or are we determining better to own?
I think we're declaring an overall winner here.
All right. Because,
Like we do with
what I was going to say is cost.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
well,
I can, you know what though? I can fight for this.
Okay.
So I will go.
Please.
with that.
Oh, good.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Wonderful.
All right. I'm ready.
Good.
To fight for why small dogs would theoretically, in theory, why you would assume immediately cost less. It's less food. It's less, maybe, dog walking, less things like that. However, I do think that small dogs get injured a lot more. I think we get a little break. We get a little, something's wrong with my lungs.
wait a minute. I didn't know Renee was a trained veterinarian.
It's true. But equally, I would maybe assume, or at least it's been my experience, that small dogs consistently have a hard time being trained to use the restroom and tearing up stuff. So I think the replacement cost could potentially be more for a small dog because big dogs are easier to be trained. Though we've all seen the destruction. We've seen the guilty dog science on YouTube. We know that they can tear it up. But I think over a long period of time, small dogs might ultimately cost you more, I think.
Interesting. Okay, I see what you're saying, Renée.
Yeah,
However,
but-
I'm going to contest it. Interesting, though. Well, first of all, say the cost of just simply getting a dog is a tough one these days because, like, all adoption fees, I feel like are pretty much the same. So, I don't know why I said that. I think, as much as I'm convinced with something is wrong with my lungs, a disease widely accepted by canine experts and veterinarians alike.
I deserve that. I deserve it.
I think it does actually tie back to the point you made about big dog longevity. I think over time, big dogs are going to cost more in terms of, like you said, food and stuff like that, but also health problems. I think they're going to get, because their heart is carrying around more weight. In addition, they are more prone to things like hip dysplasia, back problems, like hip problems, leg problems, joint problems. And everyone's going to fight us both on this because we're not totally 100%.
You're right. And this is not a fair thing to fight, but my dogs will last 11 years. Your dogs will last 19. So that's 8 more years you got to pay for your dog.
That's actually you're not wrong. It is.
Yeah.
They're going to eat a lot less and they're going to they're maybe caught, but they will not live longer.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's an interesting point.
Oh boy.
Oh.
I definitely don't.
For the cost, yeah. Is 8 extra years is your dog, is a small dog gonna eat what a large dog ate?
Right.
Yeah.
That's actually a great question. I don't know.
You kind of, is somebody out there who's a financial whiz that could like amortize the cost of a dog over 11 years versus 18 years?
I actually would love that.
I have no idea what amortize means.
Because you bring up adoption fees, and if you're going to rescue a dog, certainly I think it's generally the same price. If you're going for a purebred dog for one reason or another, if you're hypoallergenic, you have to have a dog or you have allergies, you need a hypoallergenic dog. Those prices are going to vary over time, much like baseball cards, based on how popular they are. Like Chihuahuas were not probably that expensive until Tinkerbell, Paris Hilton's dog, and
you know the name,
and the Taco Bell
names.
dog. Like before those became popular, the breed probably wasn't as expensive, and then all of a sudden you have to have it. Golden Retrievers were huge in the 80s, but have always been sort of a popular breed. So those costs for the people who are at home that would maybe make an argument based on that, that's not a stable price. You can't. In a year, it could be different.
Sure.
It's very true. That's a really great point. I think a expensive one right now is French Bulldogs, because they're very popular. But I'm sure that wasn't the case 10, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Is that because they always look surprised?
I don't know, but I think they're the cutest. That is true.
Yeah.
They're like, whoa.
Yeah, they're like, oh my god, you guys, I'm here right now, and I am a dog.
Speaking of cute points, I feel like puppies of large breed dogs are cuter than puppies of small breed dogs.
Really?
Interesting.
Like a Saint Bernard puppy, you should be able to play enough skee ball and pick one off of the shelf of plushies. Like, they're adorable.
I do think the trip factor is also higher with a bigger puppy, just because their paws are so big and they can't quite figure it out.
That's cute.
You got a dog tripping.
Yeah, the giant paws on a large breed puppy are kind of the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah.
I was going to say a good cuteness test for puppies in general would be to have them run into a tiled room and then just film it. Because they're going to bunch up, and with a bigger dog, there's giant pads they're going to like splay out as they try and stop themselves. And they're scared, but they kind of like it. And whatever they want is probably really like that peanut butter filled bone or whatever is real close by.
Aww. I wish we had done that as an objective test of cuteness.
Typically, the point of this is we got to have actual dogs in here. But
We just got to drop like 40 puppies onto the center ice at an NHL game.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my god.
And
I just made
and then put peanut butter in the goals and see who can get there first.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Why is there no Stanley Pup?
Oh my god.
Forget that. Put him on ice.
First off, you need to take a knee for how good that run was.
So good.
Good job, buddy.
Excellent.
Stanley Pup.
Very good.
Take a knee.
So good.
My laziness prevents me from actually kneeling, but I did actually slump for a second. Like I was trying to reach my shoes.
The Stanley Pup.
Which I also cannot do right now because of laziness. Okay, so we have cost and cuteness. Are we ready to make a ruling here? Do we all feel like this has resolved in the same direction? Let's take a temperature of the room right now.
Sure. To be fair, I have been going hard this whole time for big dogs. I will say that I have never seen a picture of a small dog that I was like, oh my God, so cute. But I have never actually met a small dog that I didn't instantly fall in love with. So if I meet them live, I love them. So if small dogs end up winning, I'm going to be inconsolable.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually I'll be okay.
You know what would console you, though?
What's that?
A puppy with the giant paws.
It's true. It's so true. Okay.
Go get a dog, Renee.
Okay, I will.
Yeah.
All right.
know.
Thanks, Mark.
Okay, what is our criteria? I think I lost track of what criteria we've covered.
So we've covered pop culture.
Uh-huh.
We've covered trainability/function. We have covered portability.
Uh-huh.
We have covered
General dogness.
general dogness,
Yes, sure. Good.
which is maybe a big one. We're not weighting these.
Sure.
And then we've sort of bundled together somehow cost and cuteness.
Okay. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. You know what? I'm fine with that.
Okay, yeah.
So
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense. That's fine.
no, it doesn't. It doesn't. But it makes it 5, which
I think that's fine.
Yeah.
We need 5.
That's
yeah,
nice. Okay.
it's general criteria. So what do you feel with where we are right now? Or are you sort of confused?
Well, not anymore. Now that you gave me
No.
the rundown.
Okay, good.
I'm feeling good about it. I feel like big dogs and little dogs are a little bit neck and neck right now,
Yeah.
which honestly is how I feel in general, even though I am hashtag team small dog. It's not that I'll ever like reject a big dog if it's like, near me. Like I love all dogs.
Yeah.
It's just that I lean a little bit more towards small dogs, but that's how I feel. I feel like they're pretty close. What do you think, Renee?
No, I think big dogs win, but
like in this room, like
in this room,
so
in this
far?
discussion,
Yeah.
yes. As far as my heart, big dogs
Well,
forever
sure.
and ever amen. But as far as this discussion, yeah, I feel like you guys have been real fair about
Yeah,
it.
I feel like it's pretty close.
Okay, let me ask you this, Renee.
Yes.
If you were to take your heart out of it,
Yes.
which I know is nigh impossible,
Yes.
would you have answered all these things the same, or do you feel like your heart has pulled you away from an area where logic might have dictated something else?
Yes. I feel like I wasn't even remotely close to logical about the destruction factor. I feel like big dogs will destroy your home if
Yeah,
you let
they will.
them.
Okay.
I feel like we also didn't take into account tidiness of big dogs. Like they will shed everywhere.
Sure.
But my heart's in it, so those don't matter. And we're already done, so those are off the record.
So that's true. If you had a hooch in
Yes.
your house, which we didn't mention, another
Ooh,
famous
that's
big
a good
dog,
Oh,
Yeah.
a good
he
famous big
destroys
dog.
apartments,
Yeah.
and then he's not even around to raise his children, who also destroy everything.
Good point.
Sure.
Lil Hooch Jr.
Yeah.
Aw.
Big problem.
But again, we were done with the discussion, so those two things that I brought up, they don't count.
Okay, you're taking them
good,
off the
good,
record.
I like that you determined that no, we've gone past that phase.
Right. Those two things that
The
I brought up.
deciding phase. Yeah.
Well,
Inadmissible
Mark,
as evidence.
Thank you, guys.
we do need to come to a decision. Is there anything else we need to explore here before we can issue a final ruling?
I think I'm trying to think of other criteria, but I think that we've pretty much covered everything. We all know how you two feel personally on your hashtag teams.
Yes.
But in this room, like you mentioned, Allegra, have we determined, can we all agree on one, or are we going by vote? How is this going to work?
Ooh.
I feel like you got, tell me what you think about this, Renee. I think we should not be able to vote.
Well, I mean, we can vote, but it's big and small. Now you guys.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think you guys have to determine it because it's too clear
There you go.
what
We
we're
got one
on.
for big, one for small.
Mhm.
All right.
Take it on home, fellas.
Well, you've been charming guests, but have done nothing to help us
Yeah.
decide what we're going to do. But very
My
smartly
usual, I defer to the guest is not going to work today.
Yeah,
Wow.
it doesn't work. Mark, what do you think?
I gotta say,
Real quick, Mark, I think you're handsome and
Oh.
talented and smart.
and I think you're beautiful and lovely and you know what? Very smart because you added a couple of criteria at the end that are pointing me towards small dogs winning.
Wait a minute.
Oh,
Weren't
boy.
those off the record by Renee's own admission?
Sure.
Well,
But
Allegra, these are for you. This is on your side.
it's true. This
Oh,
is
that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I love giant dogs. I grew up with a golden retriever and a Siberian husky, and I love them. I've also lived in an apartment with a Chesapeake Bay retriever. I don't know where you're falling, Hal, but I'm leaning towards small dogs.
Okay. Well, then let me add my thoughts.
Okay.
People of the world,
Whoa.
you've all heard the story of the farm where your dog went. And it's a great farm. It's a beautiful farm. The sun is always shining. The grass is green. And there are dogs everywhere. All your dogs. Little Scraps is there. Remember him? Remember Rover? There are a lot of Rovers.
What year are you getting
40s
these
and
names?
50s. That was the only dog name back then. Mark, I'm on a real roll here.
Fido.
The point is, the reason why we say they went to a farm is because there's plenty of room to run. And that's what big dogs need. So big dogs can't fit every single place. Small dogs can. They go everywhere. They go wherever you want. You want to put them in your purse? Don't, but you can. You want to put them in a baby Bjorn? Saw that recently. Loved it. Guess what? Wasn't for babies, was for dogs.
Yes.
Somebody's making money off of that. The answer to whether you should have a big dog or a small dog is very clear. It is the universal dog. The dog that can go anywhere. Plug and play dog. The small dog. So if it's 45 or over, you better have a yard. Asked and answered.
Oh, that was fun, ladies.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm sorry, Renee.
She's fine.
Renee, console yourself. Do you need an emotional support dog?
I do.
You do.
I guess.
Okay.
Great.
So.
I'm just going to order a vest off the internet that says emotional support dog.
No, a cape.
A cape,
Yeah.
yes.
Order a cape and a mask and a hat.
Aw.
And have a dog Zorro.
Captain Trash.
Yay,
Captain Trash.
Captain Trash.
Thank you so much for joining us, Renee and Allegra. Tell everybody, first of all, tell them more about your podcast, which if you listen to our show and don't listen to Can I Pet Your Dog, go listen right now and tell everybody where they can find you and plug away, please.
Well, first off, thank you guys so much for having us. We had the best time. So yeah, we're Can I Pet Your Dog? We're basically the podcast for unapologetic dog lovers. The people are just like, yeah, I love them. I'm crazy about them. Come at me. And so we have a bunch of different segments, like Mutt Minute, where we tell you about a type of breed in a minute, or Dogs We Met This Week, where we literally tell you the dogs we met this week. We also do dog tech and we do dog news. But then we also have some great guests that we bring on and they tell us about their dogs. And we maybe are even a little surprised at how this isn't getting old, at least not for us. No. Every week we're just like, dogs. It's great.
Yeah, it's really fun. You can find us. We're here on MaximumFun.org. You can also find us. We're on Twitter and on Facebook. We're on Twitter at CIPYD Podcast. On Facebook, we have a really, really fun Facebook group. If you are a dog psycho like us, you can join our group. Just request to be added. It's full of crazy dog people like ourselves in the best way. It's really a hoot.
Yeah, I can testify to that. I've been in the Facebook group.
It's crazy,
It
right?
is awesome. Tons of dog pics, and the Twitter account is also lovely. Renee, I was cutting you off. I'm going to stop now.
No, you were I was just going to say, if you're getting a little frustrated with Facebook or whatever your social media is because we're having such a political year, it's sort of nice to be part of a dog group to just go someplace where nothing matters.
Yep.
Yes.
And it's okay. So for no other reason, hang out there just because it's nice to just look at dogs.
Wonderful. And personally, where can we follow each of you online?
That's so nice. I'm Renée Colvert at Renée Colvert.
I'm at Allegra Ringo on Twitter, and I'm on, you can see some of my articles on Vice, and I'm on UCB. I'm around. You can Google me.
Just generally in places.
Just hanging around.
I like that UCB got deemed a social network.
Yes.
Whatever.
What social network are you on? UCB. Just go over to the building. Go party at one of the parties. You'll see me there.
Just go there. I'll probably be there. Whatever. That's fine.
Well, this topic has officially been settled, but there's so many other topics out there, right, Mark?
That's right, Hal. You can email us or tweet at us or jump on the Maximum Fun subreddit. On Twitter, we are at We Got This Tweets, or check out the Maximum Fun subreddit. There's a flame war happening right now.
Or go to facebook.com/We Got This Podcast, or email us, why don't you, at WeGotThisPodcast@gmail.com.
Thank you, as always, to Jonathan Dinerstein and Mike Furman for our score and song, respectively.
Thank you to producer Ken Plume, researcher Kate McManus, graphic designer Uri Kelman, and of course our QA engineer, my buddy Jen Alba. Tiki, what's up?
And thank you, of course, as always, to you, our listeners. We wouldn't be doing this without you. You are the reason we are here, not talking about politics, talking about the size of adorable puppy paws. And we cannot thank you enough for giving us the opportunity to do that. For Hal Lublin, I'm Mark Gagliardi.
And for Mark Gagliardi, I'm Hal Lublin. And don't worry, everyone.
We got this.
We got this.
Yay, team!
MaximumFun.org.
Comedy and culture. Artist owned.
Listener supported.